Hello again, whiskey friends. I'm Darrell, the whiskey saint. We are back with another review slash blind review, that is, but it's going to be a little different. It's not that standard pull a sample out of a box and taste it blind. What we're actually going to be doing is blinding a couple bottles. And the unique thing about this is actually they're technically the same bottle, but there's been a lot of talk in the town saying that different laser codes presented different tastes to those people. So I wanted to put it to the test to see if I actually get that. So what we're going to be doing today, guys, is blinding the newest batch of ECBP C923 against another C923, but they were bottled on different dates, and that's what everybody's saying that the difference was. So we're gonna sit here, pour them up, and see if I get that difference. So stay tuned. I think this is gonna be fun. We're gonna kick this show off right now. Cheers. Welcome back. Welcome back. So I got some Glens ready, and this one is labeled 2233, which is the open one that I have here. We are going to pour these up, mix those Glens up, and blind these whiskeys. So that's a good amount. Make sure. Yep. A2333, which is supposedly a better one. We shall see. Full transparency. It is a fresh crack, but if there's a big difference like I'm hearing, I don't think the fresh crack is really going to make a difference. Main thing is seeing if I can actually pull a real difference in taste. Let me make sure we got about the same amount, which I do not. Let's see now. And that is good. Okay. So got those poured up, and colors are identical, which you think they should be, right? Let's see if the taste is, but we're going to mix these up so I don't know what's what. Can't really see me on camera, but I am switching them. Mixing them up. So I can probably actually do it. If I do it like that in camera, I may drop them. So we're just going to continue to mix them up. All right. I don't know what's what. So they are labeled at the bottom, guys, but we're going to dive in on the nose of the one on my left hand, then nose the one on my right, see if there's a difference, then go in for taste. So cheers. So that's nice. That's just conventional Kentucky bourbon for me. You know, heavy oak, lovely vanilla spice. You get a little bit of punch on the nose, so you could tell that it is proofy, but it's not crazy. Like it's not super ethanol forward, which is nice. You know, these bottles are 133 proof, so it's not, you know, a slouch in proof, but you're not really getting that on the nose. Bready, doughy, really nice. All right, let's give this one a little spin job, and let's see if this one comes across any different. Huh. So right on the front of this, it's a little bit more brighter, almost like a citrus note, versus this being a little bit more darker on the nose. You do get a little bit of that citrus vibe, but this is noticeably darker for me on the nose. Ah, that's odd. Huh. I think actually with the year getting into it a little bit more, like they're coming across a little bit more similar. But initially, this one came across a little bit brighter. But yeah, there definitely is a difference. It's subtle though. Like nose and a two, I wouldn't think they are the exact same batch, if that makes any sense. They do, it does come across a little different. Not drastic though, but we're going to dive in on a palate because that's what everybody's saying really is the difference. So, not sure which one this one is, but cheers to everybody. Let's give it a taste. And I'm going to cover it up when I drink so I don't see it in the camera. So that right there reminded me of almost when I got like some single barrels that came off just a little youthful. And that has me intrigued because I don't remember really picking that note up off of the open one. So I don't know if that's the sealed one that, some people were saying were a little better. I want to give it another taste. It's still really, really good. But yeah, I just got like a slight youthful note, which is kind of odd because both of these bottles obviously are almost for 13 and a half years, right? 13 years, 7 months. So a little over 13 and a half years old. So you shouldn't really be getting into youth. It's still there slightly, like still really good. Conventional Heaven Hill, a lot of just deep, rich oak, bacon spices, cinnamon spice. Get a little bit of that citrus still on the tail end of the palate that you got on the front of the nose for me, but it's not overwhelming. Like it's a subtleness of like that citrus, but does brighten it up a bit. Curious as to this one here, if I'm going to get similar notes. So I'm not even going to rinse with any water, guys. I just want to see if it's a noticeable difference between this glass here versus obviously this one here. So spin that up a bit and just go right in. Yeah. I'm going to take another sip just to be sure, but there is a difference for me between the two. Not going to say which one I like better yet, but let me do another sip of this before making any judgment calls. Cheers, everybody. For me, and I will be curious, I will be going back to this, guys. I know that the batch that I just opened was a fresh crack, so I don't know if that's really influencing much, but I will go back to this at some point, and we'll talk about it live as well to give you what my final thoughts are. But I just hope that, fresh crack and it's not really taken away from the experience right now. It could be, I'm not positive, but I am preferring the second batch. I'm going to go back through them again just to be sure. But I'm not sure what the second batch, but the one on my right hand, excuse me, I am preferring that. It's just coming across a little bit more darker, richer. That slight youthful note that I got on the glass set in my left hand isn't present on this, which is odd, right? You would think, and nobody's ever even questioned it, right? You pick up an ECBP, whatever the batch is, and everybody just thinks it's the same. I don't know if it's any different just because of these C's or if it's always been like that, depending on when they were bottled, right? It's up in the air. Nobody knows. But I will tell you that these two do taste different for me. I'm going to go back into A, then one more time back into what I'm saying B, the one in my right hand, and just really see if that's that noticeable. Hmm. See what's funny? Going back to that one now, I'm not really getting that youthful note. I am getting like a oh, what is that? No, it's not drying, but it's a maybe like a slight like oaky tannic note. Like it's odd. Like I'm getting like a slight note towards the back of the palate, like right on the finish, that I'm not really picking up on this one. But the youthful, well, slight youthful note that I was getting initially, I'm not getting now, which is great, but makes it fall in line a little bit more with the other batch over here. But let's go in again. Shit. I think this just needed a little bit of air because that is miles apart. I wouldn't say miles. It's a lot different than when I first tasted it during its life. That's a lot better. A lot better. Let's go back to this one that I thought immediately was the winner because this is a lot closer than I think, and see if I still pick up a difference on it between the two. This is tough. Yeah, there's definitely a difference, but I don't think it's as drastic as everybody was saying. For me, whatever's in this glass just holds its weight a bit more. And what I mean by that is just darker, richer. It's carrying that oak presence a little bit more for me. And that finish just keeps going and going. Granted, it does this, the finish on this doesn't die off, but it's just like a flavor bomb throughout the whole experience on the glass that's in my right hand versus this just being just really good whiskey, but just it doesn't die off. It just doesn't carry the same finish as this one. And that's the real difference. It's not a huge taste difference. And even like experience, right, of the whiskey, like it from first sip to finish, the whole experience is very, very similar to me. Just this just seems to it comes across slightly older, right? Which it isn't. But that's like the real difference for me. Just a little bit more oak presence, a little darker, richer, with a better experience throughout the whole sip versus this one. But it's still damn good, regardless of which batch it is. Like I kind of want it to be the one that's open versus the one that everybody's been saying is better, but we shall see. I'm going to take another sip of each of these guys. I'm going to end this video. Yeah. Just the palate and mouthfeel on this glass in my right hand, I think outweighs this. Not by much, but it definitely is a noticeable difference. I think if I sent these two blind, they're not going to think you'll think it's similar whiskey, but you'll definitely choose one over the other. I'm not sure if it'll be the same one that I'm about to reveal right now, but there is noticeable differences between the whiskey, which is kind of crazy. Makes me want to go back to some backups by having, crack some other ones and kind of go in and see if it's the same thing. I'm not sure if that's the case, but it it brings up a fun argument, between like the whole brand, if that's been a thing since inception, right? We don't know. But I will say with these two bottles, for me personally, there is a difference. And we are about to reveal which one was the winner, which was in my right hand. And I'll hold this up, trying not to spill. And that is gosh darn it, the one everybody's been saying is better. So the A2333 for me came across better than this one. And that's funny, right? Because I said this one was almost like a slight youthful note, which I was hoping wasn't going to be the one that I just cracked for that reason. So upon fresh crack, this still tasted better than the one that I've been enjoying so far. Huh. So that is very, very interesting, guys. Well, I hope you guys like the video. If you have, these batches, the 2.2s versus the 2.3s, I encourage you to crack whatever one's not open and blind it yourself. See if you maybe get a similar outcome to what I got here. If you do have both, put in the comments if you blinded them. I'm curious. I don't think anybody's blinded them yet, but blind them. Let me know what your thoughts are. See if the 2.333 range champ for you, or if it's the other way around. I'm just anxious to see what you guys think. So for those who stuck with me this far, thank you, thank you, thank you. Stay tuned for the next video, guys. It's going to be real. We're going to end this off. Stay tuned for the next one. Cheers, guys.
Jeff, just be friends with me. But you have these whiskey friends, and you say hello again. Oh, Jeffrey, you